All right, y'all, what is happening? It is Thursday, November 14th, 2019. I think it's been 10 days since my last vlog. I have said that I am going to be doing more vlogs, and I am holding to that and staying the course. I think it's going to be a large part of what I do, especially going into 2020, and some of the things that I have planned for that. God willing, he takes me along this way that um, I feel he is leading me. So yeah, I think this is going to be a large part of it. So today, there are a few things I wanted to get on and talk about. A lot of the things that I like to share usually come directly from what I'm going through in life. Um, and I always feel like, especially when there's a lot going on, I'm always at some point going to share my heart. I think I told that to a friend of mine earlier this week that um, eventually everything does eventually come out, um, and that's just part of how I navigate through. So, with all that being said, a few things I wanted to discuss today. So, if you're listening, gear up. I'm happy that you're following along, and here's what I got today. So, I saw something that said November is going to be saying no to a lot of different things. And I completely forgot what it said after that, to be honest with you. But that is really what November has been for me. Um, Having it might sound weird to say it like this, but having the courage to say no to things when they are being offered to you, and to not just be so quick to say yes, and to actually take the time to think about what you're saying yes to, you know, when you're being offered. This could honestly cover a lot of different planes, a lot of different areas. One example I am going to use um, is playing in winter leagues. So traditionally, come this time of year in Wisconsin, starts to get really cold outside, and I usually like to get into a basketball league once a week, and that's kind of been my way of staying in shape. And I also tie a little bit of my social life into that as well. Um, I know past winters I've even gotten carried away and I've been like, yes, yes, yes. And next thing I know, I'm playing basketball 3 nights a week, and driving a half an hour in the snow to make it to a basketball game after a long day at work. Doing all these different, traveling all over the place to play basketball. And then um, even as a competitive person such as me, um, getting out on the basketball court and and then not playing particularly well because I'm tired, I'm not in good shape, whatever the case might be. That's just been a little bit of my experience in the past. So back to the topic, saying no. So I've been offered to play in a number of leagues this winter, and I have said no to all of them. Um, and that's been not always the easiest thing for me, but um, you know, I think one reason that I'm saying no to them is because um, I want to actually be prepared for something that I'm stepping into before I just step into it. And that's been something that I've been practicing in my life just in general, is not being so quick to step into the thing, but actually taking the time to prepare for what you're stepping into so that you can actually take care of it. You can steward over it well. Just a principle that, you know, I heard um, Mike Todd talk about. He's been talking about it in his sermon series, Crazy Faith, something that I've just been following along with for the last, I don't know, last year and a half or so. Um, and yeah, so it's the same thing. Like my whole idea behind it is, um, actually preparing, like getting in, like making it a habit to eat healthier, making it a habit to get into the gym, and making it a habit to actually go hard in the gym, making it a habit to actually have a plan when you're going into the gym, and then just having being in good shape be a lifestyle, so that now that my lifestyle is being in good shape, when I'm asked to go and play in um, a indoor soccer league or a basketball league, I can really kick some ass. And excuse my French there, for anyone who's watching, but no, like that's just who I am. Like I'm a competitor, and that's just been something that I've been focused on. So now it's crazy. I've been getting into the gym every day, just going into the Y, and just working on my jump shot. And I get out in games now, and the last times I have stepped into a pickup game, whether it's been at the Y or, um, you know, just at the Y, or I got asked to play pickup at after church one day. Um, I'm hitting, like I got the hot hand, like I'm hitting my shots and I'm feeling good about it. Um, so yeah, like that's just that's that. Like I said, it could cover a lot of layers. But of course, there's always that fear of missing out that is so prevalent in our culture today, FOMO. And, like, well, am I going to lose touch with this friend group if I don't join this basketball league? Or, um, what is this going to mean in terms of relationships, so on and so forth. And I think relational FOMO is like a real thing. Um, and yeah, I mean, I know that to be fully transparent, I definitely struggle with it myself. Um, but at the end of the day, I think relationships just change over the course of time. Um, and as you continue to, walk with the Lord, you're gonna you're gonna go and be closer to certain people in some seasons, and maybe a little bit distant from other people in different seasons. But I think the beautiful thing about social media nowadays is we can keep up with each other in some fashion. And for me, like I think that um, just how I present myself on media um, can just be a way of staying connected to people, and also helping um, glorify God, and direct people, and make a positive impact um, by doing that. So that's kind of something I wanted to share. Just don't be afraid to say no. Like when things are presented to you, and when things are presented to you, make sure you know exactly what is being presented to you. A basketball league is a 3 month commitment once a week. Um, Playing in that, like I don't really want to get into too much, because I could go on talking about this in a number of different directions. But anyways, so transitioning onto that, like I think I touched on it a little bit. Um, you know, it is uncomfortable sometimes to say no to people, especially when people have an expectation that they have on you of what your relationship is with them. For them to then approach you and ask you something that they already expect you to say yes to, and then to come up with a no, is definitely discomforting. So that's just the transition that I want to go into, um, and that's just pushing past discomfort, and how that is also something that I'm trying to just implement as just a, a lifestyle thing, like being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm sure people have heard that before, but yeah, again, and I always like to lead with transparency. Like this is a super uncomfortable season for me. There's a lot of different things in my life right now that I'm being pushed on, and it's making me really uncomfortable. And I'm just trying to work through it, and trying to become better as a result of it. And honestly, um, I do think that it is a sign that you're going in the right direction. Like life was never meant to just be comfortable, especially if you are called to be different, and called to be set apart, and called to be great. It's not supposed to be comfortable. So, um, I could get into more of that, but work is super uncomfortable right now. What I'm doing, just with my music and what I'm trying to accomplish with that, and in ministry is super uncomfortable right now. Just I think to be fully transparent, like just being a single guy at 28 years old, especially following the Lord, if you know what I'm saying, is extremely uncomfortable. To be fully transparent. So yeah, it's just a you know it is what it is, but I think it's an indication that I'm going in the right direction. So I just wanted to encourage anybody who might be really uncomfortable right now or is going through something, and you're looking for relief or whatever it might be. Like um, just make sure you're reaching out to people, you're talking with people, um, and you're not just trying to work through it on your own. That's my encouragement. So I wanted to just talk about that. Um, and then one other thing that I've been really thinking about is, I guess leading into that, like when you have, you're choosing between like discomfort and comfort. I think one thing that God does is when He calls us to something and He has like a purpose for us, He embeds it so deeply in our hearts that it almost becomes like impossible to shake off. That's just something that I think is just very real. Like, if you have always felt like this is your calling in life, and you can't get past the point that you really want to, start that business or go travel or whatever it might be, and you've been praying about it, and if you're like me, you even get to the point where you're like, God, like if you don't want this for me, because it's not working out or it's hard, whatever it is, like take it from me. But as much as like, I think there's a lot in, and I talked with some of my friends about this, like there's a lot in like surrendering like your desires to God, especially if like if you have a desire and it's not really happening like on a timetable that you want it to happen on. I think that's really good to be able to give that to God and trust Him with it, and just not be and do that to not be frustrated. But it's really crazy when there's just something in your life that you can't shake off, no matter how hard you try to, you just can't. And for me, that has been the journey that I have been on as a music artist. Like I honestly, to be again, I lead with transparency. If you get to know me, you'll find that out. But there have been times where I have literally been like, God, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it. It is too hard. And that this was put on my heart back in like 2013, 2014 to take it from being just something I really enjoyed to like level it up to be something that I actually like followed and journeyed on. And man, in whatever it's been, 6 or 7 years that I've been doing this, I have not been able to shake it off. And I think there is a reason for that. So whatever it might be, that's just what it is. That's one example of what it is for me. Maybe there's something for you that you just can't shake. Pay attention to that. If that's God's will for your life, it's not going to go away, no matter how hard you try. And I think I have tried. It's just this whole idea of like running away from your calling. Like, I think, when you get really into it, like you do have a choice at the end of the day of what you want to do. Whether it be, go your own way, go God's way, settle for what is available to you now, or don't settle and continue to pursue something greater or whatever it is you think God is calling you to. You do have a choice at the end of the day. And I think, unfortunately, I think it is possible this is tough. I think it is possible to miss your calling, if you continue to choose comfort over discomfort. I think that God's grace can completely cover those indecisions. and he works outside of time. So, and that I think that's like the wonder and like the mystery and the miraculous nature of who he is. Um, so it's never too late to, you know, decide that you're gonna do this thing that you can't seem to shake. Um, you know, I think it's never too late, and God can really do anything. But um, if discomfort is holding you back, um, pay attention to that, because that is not always what you think. Discomfort is not your indication to stop. It is your indication that you're going in the right direction. You're moving forward. And I gotta be honest. Just shout out to Jake, Pastor Jake at Brave Church. I was on Facebook this morning, and I had a memory of a message that he did last year on this date, and it popped up, and I was in the demonstration, and I was like, "Yep, always need a word of encouragement," you know. So that's why I do this. Because that's why I'm vlogging, just because I like to share like just how my mind thinks, my processes, and then hopefully it encourages people. So, all right, that's all I got for today. That's my vlog of November 14th, 2019. I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening, rest of your week, weekend, and I hope to see you. Would love to hear from you. Whatever it may be. So y'all take care. Peace.